Greece is waiting. It's always waiting for everything, even booking an appointment for see a lawyer, your own lawyer. You must wait about at least 10 or 20 days. I really hate waiting. It's been three years that I'm waiting for an ID.
OCC Podcast, a podcast by Belén Sánchez Bermúdez for Open Cultural Center.
In the last episode, we tell the story of the refugee situation in Greece through the experiences of two women, Arezo, who you have just heard of, and Duniya. They experience a completely unpredictable wait for their passports. The waiting times are indeterminate. Only half of the asylum applications get a good decision, as in Duniya's case.
I received my document, the good decision. It's true, I had different case number, but my case and case my parents, it was the same. But right now I have all my document, but my parents still they are waiting about the answer, and they had 2-time rejection, and like 1 year and 2 months. My family, they have a privacy lawyer, but until yet they don't receive any answer. All the time I have a stress, and I'm just thinking about my parents, about my brother, and every time I'm just thinking what will happen. Before, I was strong, but right now really with a lot of problem and with a lot of stress, and right now also I have a stress. Still I'm waiting about the answer of my parents, and it's super horrible for me. I have my document, but I can't leave them. All the time when I want to leave them, I just think about my parents, what will happen to them.
All this waiting time in Greece has been a very hard process for them. At the beginning, they didn't even know how to speak English. They started to learn thanks to the non-profit organization Open Cultural Center, also known as OCC, as interpreters from English to Farsi language for refugee people.
I started learning English in Greece. In Lesbos, we didn't have any opportunity to study, and then we came to the Thessaloniki. There wasn't any organization or any classes to support students to study and learn a new language, even Greek. So when I come to the Plakastro and I start coming to the OCC, I improved, and my English was really reached in a really good level. Now I can speak.
Yeah, it was super useful for me, and the best experience for me, it was visit the different person from different country. I met different personality. It was super amazing for me. I learned a lot of things. I have second family, because every day from morning until night I was here. It was amazing, and they told me you have to be a teacher, like interpreter. It was amazing for me, and some months also I was teacher, not just interpreter, teacher and interpreter together, and I didn't know how to teach them, but I just remember when I was in the school, I remembered my teacher and how they taught me, and I just followed my mind, and I started to teach to students, and it was amazing for me, really.
OCC supports refugee and non-refugee youth to be part of a community and offers cultural activities focused on the inclusion of asylum seekers in Greece, language lessons, cultural exchange, kindergarten. Arezo shares with us her feelings about this experience.
It's made me to speak in English, and since I try to improve my English, so it's really good to speak, and then to share their culture and to know about them, the new things. It's really the only thing that I'm doing. It's to improve myself with them, their experience, and of course because in OCC everyone that's are working, they have a different experience and different view of the life. When I speak with them, they share their experience, and I share my experience. I feel kind of really good.
Mixing with so many cultures in OCC, they see the difference between Europe and their country of origin, Afghanistan. We ask them if they feel more discriminated against to be refugees and also women.
It feels like a yes or a no. It's not about being in a woman, because if I was in Afghanistan, yes, it was really because of being in a woman in a government of Taliban. And but in Europe, I think it doesn't matter if you are a woman, but being as a refugee, it's kind of less. You will have less opportunities until I see in the Greece, but I don't know about the other countries. But yes.
In Afghanistan, the situation of Afghanistan is super horrible too. All the time there is fighting, and women, the girls in Afghanistan, they cannot be, they don't care about the women and girls so much. They said the girls and women, they don't need to go to work outside, to study, like that. It's super horrible too. I don't have good feel about that. I don't like.
Girl who have born in a country like Afghanistan, she doesn't have any future, or she is only waiting for something like married and then children, looking after the children, and this is all their lives, doing housework and this kind of thing. The Taliban made them like that. So before the Taliban, yes, the girls have the right to study, to have a job out of the house. So, but now they don't have the opportunity. Even if you know, nowadays they have a new rule that girls all could study until 6th grade. So it's not enough.
Of course, it's not enough. They can have no purpose in life. Refugee communities are not the cause of the migration crisis. They are just the consequence of it. And we ask ourselves, what is the identity left for them after the hopelessness and the lost years?
The difficult situation, it was like I don't know how the time passes. Like now we are here like 4 years, between 3 and 4 years, and when I think about this, I just lost my time. About this, I'm super sad really, because I couldn't study. I was without anything here, just all the time, just stress. And 4 hours is not, so it's too much. It's super horrible really. Even I can't explain how to say really. I don't have feel good when I think about this. I lost 4 years my age.
Days after this interview, Duniya decided to cross the Greek border and look for a new future in another EU country. She's now separated from her family and will have to reapply for asylum, but she has a plan. Nobody wants to live in uncertainty, without a project, which is what defines us as human beings. No one chooses to be a refugee.
I want to study, and I want to learn different language, and I like be again interpreter. I like this job.
Like everyone, I also wants to live in a good country that accepts us. That we will feel like we are also a citizen of that city after living 5 years in that city or 7 years. I think it's all right, isn't it? And then to study the university and have a job.
Refugee community only asks for dignified treatment. They ask that we do not look the other way, that we do not subject them to walls where their lives crash, that we don't see them as a mass, but that we see them as Duniya and Arezo. If you didn't listen to the first episode of this series, we invite you to go and learn more about their journey to Greece. Humanising and sharing experiences, that was one of the objectives of Open Cultural Center with this podcast.